The world of luxury watches has changed. As of 2022, there are no watches in the top 10 under $10 million. Here's the official top 10 most expensive watches in the world 2022 list. Number 10. Patek Philippe stainless steel 1518, sold for $11.14 million. This stainless steel wristwatch was sold at auction in 2016, so if it were to be resold today, the watch would probably fetch around $15 million. The value derives from being an absolute innovation when it was first introduced. Patek was fighting Audemars Piguet for the title of absolute watchmaker at the time, and both companies cracked this complexity at roughly the same timeline. Patek made only 2 watches to carry this complexity. Audemars made 9. The 1518 is one of those 2 stainless steel watches out of a series of 4 experiments. On the back of the watch, underneath the serial, you can notice a number 1. It is considered by many to be the holy grail of wristwatches, as it marks the beginning of a new phase in luxury watches. And to think, we're just getting started on this list. Number 9. Jacob & Co Billionaire. Price, $18.2 million. Jacob & Co are masters at gem setting for luxury watches, so when they decided to make a one-of-a-kind statement piece, they went all out. The concept was to create a watch so expensive only a billionaire could afford it. A grand total of 177 carats of 325 emerald and baguette-cut diamonds were carefully put together. And the watch took the international spotlight a few years ago when boxer Floyd Mayweather purchased it for $18.2 million. Number 8. Rolex Paul Newman Daytona Ref 6239, sold for $18.7 million. This is one of those rare watches that collectors are fighting over. Paul Newman was one of the most famous movie stars in the world, and Rolex made a limited series with a specific style of dials that became known as the Newman Daytonas. The most famous and valuable of the bunch was Paul's very own. Scarcity, celebrity, and a unique differentiator made this one of the most valuable watches to ever be sold at auction. Number 7. Patek Philippe Henry Graves Pocket Watch. Price, $24 million. This used to be the most expensive pocket watch in the world. It was sold for $11 million back in 1999, and that was some serious money back then. Well, in 2014, it went to auction once again, and this time shattered every record out there, selling for $24 million. Made in 1933 for banker Henry Graves by Patek Philippe himself, it took over 5 years to complete. It happens to be one of the most complicated and complex pocket watches in the world, with over 24 functions. Made out of 18-karat gold, the watch used to be the world's most expensive pocket watch until the number 4 on this list dethroned it, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. Number 6. Chopard 201-karat watch. Price, $25 million. Renowned jewelry house Chopard looked at the watch market, looked at their collection of diamonds and said, hey, why not? With 874 rare diamonds, the Chopard 201-karat watch used to be the world's most expensive watch and is still one of the highest-priced jewelry watches out on the market. Sold in the year 2000 for this unbelievable $25 million, it made the front page of every luxury publication at the time, resulting in one of the most successful PR stunts of the company, and since then, plenty of other watchmakers and jewelers have tried to replicate the model. And if you think the display on this watch is tiny, just wait until you see the next one. Number 5. Jaeger LeCoultre Joaillerie 101 Menchet, valued at $26 million. We're halfway through our most expensive watches in the world list, and frankly, this one is more of a bracelet than a watch, but as long as it tells the time, it has a place on this list. 577 diamonds were used in the creation of this piece. The watch was gifted to Queen Elizabeth in 2012 as a tribute to her coronation day, when the Queen wore a watch by the same jeweler. The Menchet hasn't been seen since. Number 4. Breguet Grand Complication Marie Antoinette. Price $30 million. As of 2022, this is the most expensive pocket watch in the world. It was commissioned by an alleged lover of Marie Antoinette, the famous French queen. Work on the watch began in 1782 by Abraham Louis Breguet, which was finished in 1827 by his son, 4 years after his death. The result, an amazing piece of design, class, and technology containing every function that was possible at that time. Encased in gold, displaying the intricate mechanism running it, Breguet used sapphire to lower the friction within the piece. Marie Antoinette did not get to see the watch since it was completed 34 years after her execution, but we can be sure she would have been impressed. The watch was stolen in the late 1900s and retrieved only in 2007, and watch collectors went crazy for it. If it were to go on the market today, it would likely fetch a whole lot more than $30 million. Currently, the watch is secured in the LA Mayer Museum, so you could go see it if you're in the area. Number 3. Patek Philippe Grandmaster Chime. Price $31 million. Now, if jewelers didn't compete in this ranking, then this particular Patek would be the most expensive watch in the world. In terms of rarity, value, and collector appeal, this wins on all fronts. Sold at auction for $31 million back in 2019, this watch is a one of one. Crafted in stainless steel, not some rare expensive material, the watch is currently the most advanced watch Patek has ever made, with over 20 complications. The watch was originally built for the Only Watch auction, which donates 100% of its proceeds to muscular dystrophy research, so charity had a play in all of this. But before we move on to the next watch, there was a Patek Chime watch that briefly popped up on a watch reseller site for $72 million last year, but the listing price has since been taken down. If by any chance a Grandmaster Chime would sell for that amount, it would become the absolute king of watches. But we've got 2 more to go. Number 2. Graf Diamonds The Fascination. Price $40 million. Graf is the biggest name in diamonds, and when they saw Chopard getting all of that media attention, they said, hey, we can do better. So what did they do? Well, they put $40 million worth of diamonds on a watch and revealed it to the world. The watch consists of 152.96 carats of white diamonds with a center, fancy-cut, exquisitely rare stone that is a 38.13 carat D-flawless pear-shaped diamond that actually detaches into a ring, making it a convertible watch. But that's not all. Graf wanted to make sure they are the undisputed leader in the watch or jewelry space, so they thought maybe $40 million worth of diamonds isn't enough. So they challenged themselves to do even better with number 1, Graf Diamonds The Hallucination. Price $55 million. The Hallucination by Graf Diamonds is the most expensive watch in the world, valued at $55 million. And the incredible worth stems from the 110 carats of really rare and really big colored diamonds set into a bracelet of platinum. When diamonds are extracted and processed, their color ranges from D to Z. The colored diamonds used for this particular watch qualify as fancy, which means they go beyond the normal scale as incredibly rare and valuable. If you look really close at the bundle of gems, you can see a tiny quartz dial in the middle of it framed by pink diamonds. Now, here are some of Lawrence Graf's comments on the Hallucination. The Graf Hallucination is a sculptural masterpiece, a celebration of the miracle of colored diamonds. For many years, I've thought about creating a truly remarkable watch that illustrates our all-consuming passion for diamonds. The Hallucination has made my diamond dream a reality. Now, to put things into perspective, the most expensive watch costs as much as a Gulfstream private jet. But more recently, people have started looking at luxury watches as investments. In fact, luxury watches have outperformed the S&P 500 in the past 3 years, with returns over 20% year over year to investors, as everyone is looking for smart stores of value these days. So what do you think? If you had the money, would you invest in a luxury watch? Let us know in the comments. And as for those of you watching until the very end, we have a special bonus watch that one day might end up being the most expensive watch in the world. Franck Muller Bitcoin watch holding 2,423 Bitcoins. With the rise in crypto, people are willing to differentiate themselves as much as possible, and Franck Muller decided to put a crypto wallet with 2,423 Bitcoins on a watch. Technically, it's a gimmick for them to get some press, as you can add and withdraw as many of the Bitcoins as you want, and you don't really need the watch to do it. But isn't that what most of these jewelry makers did as well? Now, just a thought experiment. If Bitcoin was to ever reach $100,000 per coin, the wallet displayed on the watch would be worth over $2 billion alone. Now, should that count in the ranking of the most expensive watch or not?